Hey, I want to welcome everybody to our latest episode of Taco Tuesday. My name is Luke Garrity. I'm one of the pastors here at the Vineyard, and today I'm sitting with my friend Doug Bauman. Welcome.
Welcome, bienvenidos.
Yeah, I don't speak enough Spanish to know what you said, but
welcome.
So we've got tacos again from Coloca's on Main Street, one of our favorite taco places. We got today. We got actually we almost always get. I almost always get carnitas. You're pretty consistent carnitas, right?
Yeah, I love carnitas.
Yeah,
not a problem.
What's your favorite tacos?
Adobada.
Okay, what's that?
The ones that we ate in at El Regreso in Ensenada.
Is that the one that's like the meat's like pulled? It's like a pulled pork almost.
No. It's the one that they cut the meat off of the.
Oh yeah.
The trompo.
Yeah.
So it's like pork, but it's like, I don't know, marinated.
It's on the spit.
Yeah, on the spit that goes like that, yeah.
There was another one we had at that one, it was just the meat taco place. Remember they had all just meats, and there was one that was like, it was almost like a brisket that was it was so tender. I don't know if you remember that one, but I don't know. I took a picture of it, and whenever I talk to the folks at Ensenada, I'm like, where's that place?
So did we eat there in Ensenada?
Yeah, we ate there, I think we ate there 2 or 3 times now.
Oh, well, I'm not sure why I can't remember
I think our mission trip experiences are a lot of tacos.
Yeah, it was lots of tacos.
Yeah, so Doug, a couple questions that we're gonna jump into now, and the beauty is that I will eat tacos while you tell us your stories, so to speak.
Okay.
But hey, stop by Coloca's and let them know you heard about them from the Vineyard. We love that restaurant. So, but you speaking of the Vineyard, how'd you show up to the Vineyard?
Well, you always tell me that I can forever make a short story longer, which is actually pretty true.
I think your wife said that before too.
Yes,
I stole it from her.
Right. But so I'll give you like the abbreviated version.
Mm-hmm.
So the abbreviated version is back in about 2018 when we had the fires and all the drama going on. My wife found out that Vineyard was doing something to do with trying to help with the people that were displaced from the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So she volunteered for a shift down here. I think it was midnight to 4 in the morning or something
She
stupid.
took like the worst shift.
Yeah. She told me that she did that on purpose, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyway, she came home and she says, oh my gosh, Doug, says, I met some of the nicest people. And I'm thinking in my head, at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Well, anyway, so
that's the not nice time of the day.
Yeah. So anyway, so she came home and told me that, I don't know, she just had a good feeling, and so I said, well, maybe we ought to try it out, because we were kind of like looking for somewhere to land. So that's how we got here.
So you guys got in the Vineyard serving.
Yeah.
And I think I actually remember meeting you at a funeral before that, maybe 1.5 years or 2 years before that.
Yeah, I think so.
And somebody introduced you to me as Breadman.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's a weird name.
Yeah.
What's that about? And later on, found out that you were you delivered bread to all the local grocery stores.
I worked for Rainbow Bread here in town for like 30 years.
Yeah, okay. Get in there, eat that taco. I'm going to tell you more about Doug that he would probably not tell you himself. But Doug, so Breadman, you became known as Breadman because you accidentally started this ministry church thing amongst the juvenile hall. There are literally, I have met dozens and dozens of people who worked with you when they were younger, and going through just troubles in life, kind of doing normal, typical teenager stuff.
Yeah.
And you've mentored and poured into just tons of people that, it kind of reminds me of, there's like these, they're like preacher stories. Like when you get to heaven, someday it's gonna.
Oh yeah, right.
Remember that old song, Thank You? Thank you for giving to the Lord. You remember that song? Back in the 80s and 90s?
No.
I apologize for singing, but the idea in that song is like one day we'll see the impact we had on people's lives. And Don and I always say that you and Sue are going to have like literally dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people who will be like, hey, you made a difference in my life. And that's,
well, I don't know whether we get points for that.
Yeah. But you have done that.
But I don't know, I feel like that we've affected quite a few lives, and that's kind of like what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, I think you and I became pretty fast, really good friends.
Yeah.
Because we probably have real well, yeah, you and I, well, we always get accused of being a lot alike.
Yeah, a lot alike. Yeah, Luke always says that says I'm like the grown-up version, in 30 years.
I'll end up like you.
Yeah, he'll end up like me.
So when Don talks to Sue, they're not convinced that that's a good thing, though. That's
for sure.
It's like, yeah. So that's what brought you to the vineyard. So in many ways, Sue, your wife, is kind of the person that, brought you here,
right,
in some ways. And then, she's been really involved in our church, and hopefully we'll get Sue on a Taco Tuesday. If you want to see Sue on a Taco Tuesday, you should leave a comment and make a request, right? Will she respond to those?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
What I like about Sue is that she does not seem like the person that can be pressured to do anything, though.
Well, she's her own person.
Yeah, I love that about her. That's what Don and I love most about her, actually. She doesn't let you push her around.
Just me.
Yeah. Yeah, you get pushed, is that what you're saying?
Only by her.
Don't admit that on video. Okay, so that's what brought you to the vineyard. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people in our community know you, but for those maybe who haven't had a chance to spend some time with you, like, what makes Doug tick? What are you passionate about?
Well, I'm passionate about a few things, but I would say probably from the top down, I'm passionate about working with people. Like, I'm a people person. When I retired 11 years ago or something like that, I fortunately took a full-time job working at juvenile probation. So that occupied about 6.5 years there. And then I retired out of that, and that put me at home.
Okay.
And so what I found out was sitting at home and mowing the lawn and raking leaves out of the pool, like, I just was not getting any, there was just no satisfaction in that. So long story short is I really was missing people.
Gotcha.
And working with people, because I've worked with people pretty much all my life. Yeah.
When did that happen? When did you fully, you're no longer in the work world? Oh. You're retired?
Probably.
You retired a couple times, right?
Yeah, twice. I don't know, I'd say 3 years ago, just ballpark figures.
Yeah, so 3 years ago, right before COVID.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with my life?
Right. Yeah, and then COVID hits, and it's like, oh, you guys can't hang out with anybody. Yeah. Like, dude, you're killing me.
You and I broke that rule a lot, though.
Yeah, we did. Made up our own rules.
Yeah, I think we started out, we're like, okay, we'll meet outside. Yeah. And I think when we figured out it was 145 degrees, we decided that was no longer.
Let's set in the air conditioning.
Didn't we create, we didn't ever talk about it, but we kind of they talked about having your own little bubble of people that you would only.
Oh, yeah.
You guys were in that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so you're passionate about people. What's another thing that you're passionate about?
I'm kind of pretty passionate about mission angled stuff. Never really, figured that I was called to full-time mission, but things that revolve around going and serving, or maybe partnering up with another, I don't know what adventure that somebody else has somewhere else. I've always been.
You've kind of been you've helped connect people to missions, right? Giving them their first experience.
Yeah, I've taken a few people down to Ensenada and give them a feel for what it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty passionate about that. I'd also say that I'm, pretty passionate about trying to lead people to the Lord. I guess that's more kind of evangelical, or
evangelistic.
Evangelistic. I do that. I'm pretty happy that over the course of, my 20-some years at probation, that I have a lot of kids now that are 30s and 35s.
Yeah. That a lot of them are close to my age.
I know.
It's almost like
that's how old I am.
I'm he's been doing it a long time. Yeah. I don't ever say it that way.
Yeah, sorry.
I say he's been very faithful.
Yeah, very faithful. So anyway, I have kids now that are 30, 35, and they have become Christians. I'm not saying that it was because of me.
Yeah, well, but a lot of them have told me that you were very instrumental in that.
Well,
story. There's a lot of people in our church who, when they talk about, because I always like, hey, what brought you to the Vineyard? And it's remarkable how many times. Well, I was meeting with Doug back in the 1950s.
Yeah, right.
Not even that far back, but yeah, that's cool. So passionate about evangelism, helping people. It's kind of one of those words that a lot of people kind of, because they have all these assumptions of what it means. But really, you're passionate about helping other people connect to Jesus, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So then,
who would have ever thought?
Yeah,
like not me.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting how when God gets involved, He redeems our stories and takes people like us and allows us to participate.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So passionate about helping people connect with Jesus, passionate about missions, and passionate about people in general. Those are all people.
I'd say that's me.
Yeah.
I'm like you.
Yeah.
I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I need people.
Yeah. So my development in the last 3 or 4 years, though, is that I've definitely discovered that there's times that I need to be by myself. Do you have that? Because I feel like that's one difference between us. I feel like you're itching to get involved in.
Really. Yeah, I really don't go through the, oh my gosh, time out. You guys are killing me.
Yeah.
But I don't do your job.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But I just noticed that, it's funny. You never said no when I'm like, hey, you want to go hang out?
I'm like, oh, heck
yeah. You're like, where are we going? What taco place are we going to?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so last question for us, but I need to let you, we should take bites.
Let's take bites.
Yeah.
Talk with our mouth full.
Yeah, and by the way, for those of you watching, I want to point out, I've been saying for a long time that I won't have napkins because it's fun not to, but I put napkins out here today to prove to Jamie Muir, who I would love to do a Taco Tuesday with Don. If you would like Jamie to do one, you should also make a comment. But we do have napkins. I just don't normally like to use them, but
pretty helpful.
Man, carnitas is such a safe bet.
You can't go wrong with carnitas.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever had bad carnitas. Okay, so, I honestly think that probably the most common question I ask people, Carissa was pointing this out to me, our kids leader, that I asked this, but this question of what is God doing in your life, or where's the Holy Spirit at work, or how is Jesus impacting you right now? How would you say that? What's God doing in your life right now?
Well, let me preface my answer to, I was bored and I needed to work with people, so I took a volunteer's position at Salisbury High School, and working in a class that's like the highest of the high-risk kids, which is kind of my jam.
And I think something that you and I both believe about those kids is that, some of us, A, were those kids before, right?
Yeah.
But B, God loves those kids more than we could ever fathom, and they were created in God's image, and they're worthy of love, respect, honor, encouragement. Sometimes you gotta definitely, tell them they're being dumb.
Yeah.
Right? There's just all these
I'm
different.
good at that.
Yeah, there's all these things, but doing that in a way that's because it's coming from a place of love.
Yeah, like in a loving way.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah,
so you started
anyway,
doing that.
I took a part-time, volunteer gig there. But when I got there, I found that there were 3 kids that I recognized from showing up here at the Vineyard. Remember when those kids were like roaming around the hallways? And everybody was going, what the heck, what are they doing? Go tell them to either sit down and shut up or...
Stop drinking all the water.
Stop drinking all the water. Well, anyway, so I found that there was like 3 of those kids there in the class that I'm working in. And they were also part of the crew of about, 6, 7, 8 kids that once in a while we would huddle up in the room down the hallway and I would tell them, some stories that probably had some, some good news mixed into the story somewhere. So I think that God's using me to be able to, connect with mostly young people. That's kind of like who I've always worked. I tried working with adults, and I just can't do that.
Yeah, so that's kind of what's happening in your life right now. Is it seems like the Lord's been doing that a lot in your life. I mean, for basically most of your adult life, since Jesus, right? Yeah. Connecting you with young people.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sweet. Well, I think if you're a part of the Vineyard and you haven't had a chance to get to know Doug, now you know some things. You know what he's passionate about, and there's something you might be able to talk to him about, and maybe. Even talk to Doug about getting involved. He's always looking for volunteers to help out in some way, shape, or form. So stop by and say hi to Doug. But thanks for the tacos, and thanks for
the tacos.
Yeah, thanks for the tacos. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Next Tuesday, we've got our next episode coming up.
All right.